Hey guys, in this video I'll be going over what went wrong with Michal Krizo at the 2024 Empro Spain, the 7th best bodybuilder in the world. Krizo, who placed 7th at the 2023 Olympia, just placed 3rd place at the 2024 Empro Spain, a show which he convincingly won in 2023, and many predicted that he would win in 2024. What happened for him to lose to William Bonac and Behrooz Tabani? Let's get into it. First, let's take a look at some of the first call-out photos, starting with the rear double. The reason I'm showing you this shot first is because this has been, and still is, Krizo's weakest, worst pose. This is because you can see just how asymmetrical his back is, along with the positioning of his arms. Compare his massive stature and imposing structural width to the other two, and you would think that he would have the widest, thickest back. I mean, he has all the tools to do so, however, it seems as if his back has not improved since he turned pro. Compared to the others, he has the most size and freakiest arms, but a terribly shallow lower back, non-existent width in the lats, and lackluster lower body condition. Here's the front double, a complete 180 from the last pose. In this shot, I'd say that he easily beats Bonac and Behrooz, for the simple fact that he appears similarly detailed, has the biggest, freakiest arms, and the most massive quads. While his waist is big, his gigantic limbs compensate for this, creating a rather tremendous look reminiscent of a late Ronnie Coleman. He's definitely been sharper, especially in that midsection, however, he's doing enough to win the pose. The side chest is one of those poses which he is normally really good in due to his sheer size. However, one flaw he has, even when he's on, is his lacking side leg compared to the thick upper body. Since he wasn't super conditioned, his side leg appears not only smaller, but also kind of undetailed relative to the others. While he may be winning the chest and arm in pure size, he is soft in the shoulders and arms as well, and lacks any real detail downstairs. The ab and thigh is up there as being one of Krizo's worst poses, since his blocky waist and subpar lats hold him back. His V-taper is even worse than Bonac's, which isn't a hard bar to pass. Sure, his quads are amazing and massive, however, he is watery and soft in certain areas like that midsection, and, it's almost as if he missed his peak just by a little bit. To drive home the point, the rear lat spread is the last pose I'm going to show you of these three, and it really shows you just how undeveloped and lagging Krizo's lower back and back in general is compared to the others. He's being challenged by Bonac in width, which is crazy considering just how much wider Krizo is structurally. He also shows little to no detail in that lower back, but does have solid thickness in the mid-back and upper traps. One thing that I normally admire about Krizo is his phenomenal thin skin condition, especially in the glutes and the lower body. However, here it is apparent that his lower body is not as dialed in as the others. To really understand just how off Krizo actually was, let's take a look at his 2023 Empro Spain package and compare it to today. In the front double, it is rather apparent that he wasn't quote-unquote off. He definitely has great separation in the legs and arms, comparable to that of 2023. Then again, this is his most impressive shot, and looks good even with subpar conditioning. If anything, he looks fuller in the triceps and outer quads, but lacks that deep, intricate detail in those areas. His waist even appears a bit wider for 2024, with his V-taper being significantly better in 2023. The front lat spread is another pose which is very solid for Krizo, especially due to that wide structure. I think that this carries him here, as apart from that, his lats are mediocre at best. He does have huge arms and quads in both years, and solid chest and delt development. However, 2023 is twice as refined in areas like the arm and leg separation. I definitely think that the lighting in 2023 was also much better, leading to a more impressive presentation and display of conditioning. Still, the differences aren't crazy and are hard to discern at first glance. Here's the side chest, a pose which actually looks better for 2024. I like that he bends down more, showcasing more of that side leg density, even though he might be a bit less detailed. The added fullness that I mentioned is clear in areas like the chest and arms, however, he sacrifices definition in those areas as well. I think the most impressive part of Krizo, and a freaky aspect as well, was his combination of mass and conditioning in 2023, where we saw him truly display top-notch condition. Although he's big and full now, that lacking detail makes him appear not as mind-blowingly crazy and freakish in my opinion. The side tricep is another mediocre pose for Krizo since nothing about him stands out. In both, he is relatively the same, with the only difference really being that 2023 has a deeper quad ham tie-in, along with superior oblique definition. Now, the rear double is the pose which many were wondering about, myself included. I thought that he may have brought it up, considering that this was one of his most heavily criticized areas. However, if anything, it's worse. Not only is he slightly less detailed and conditioned, shown in that wrinkled lower back for 2024, but his posing has also become even worse. I don't really know what to say, as his arms are in two different hemispheres. I don't really know if he has scoliosis, or if it's a structural imbalance, or if he really just can't coordinate his limbs. Whatever it is, he needs to get it sorted out and really get it together. Looking at the lower bodies, they are surprisingly similar, however 2023 is more uniform in condition, while 2024 has gaps and areas of water and softness. I wholeheartedly believe that Krizo was in solid conditioning leading up to the show, however he just missed his mark and unfortunately came in slightly off. Due to the unfavorable lighting, Krizo's back lat spread in 2024 looks much less appealing than it did a year ago. His lack of width and density aren't as noticeable in 2023, as his strengths being condition and size overshadow this flaw. Now though, the lighting in lesser condition highlights this problem, as his back looks awkward and he poses oddly. I think that he could benefit from leaning back more, creating the illusion of width and size, closing the gap between his lower back and glutes. All in all, 2023 looks slightly drier in the glutes and hamstrings, and poses more aesthetically. Here's the last pose, a signature crab most muscular, which is probably the most impressive one currently. Even without that super thin skin condition, Krizo looks imposing in 2024. Just look at how wide he is from shoulder to shoulder, and how large his arms and traps are. So much freakish size to the point where he could easily win against most in this pose. That being said, it's even more impressive when you look at 2023's package, since his arms and chest have so much more deep separation, and he looks much more freaky, which goes to show you that 2024 was, slightly worse than 2023. Alright guys, that's about it for this video. In short, my final conclusion is that Krizo was certainly off, but not by much. If anything, the caliber of competition might have just increased a lot, with Krizo basically remaining virtually the same. He has all the tools in his arsenal to defeat guys who beat him at the 2024 Empro Spain. However, he needs to come in razor sharp and with a better back if he wants to be a serious threat to the top 5 at the Olympia. Most importantly, he needs to fix his posing and present a more refined look on stage, as this is what separates a guy like him and a veteran like William Bonac. Anyways, let me know in the comments down below what you thought about Krizo and whether or not his back is a genetic weak point. If you enjoyed, let me know as well, as it always makes my day to know. With that all being said, I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.